Let's talk about ternary expressions. A number of years ago, a new syntax was added to JavaScript that allows us to have a short form for checking a condition and having one result or another. These are often used to assign a value to a variable based on a condition, but they're typically only used when the logic is very concise. And the best way to explain that to you is to show you. First, I want to start with a regular if-else statement so that you can see the difference. Let's say that we want to assign a status to a new variable called getStatus. I could create getStatus and say, I'm going to declare it, but I'm not ready to initialize it yet. We need to use some logic to do that. So I could say if is docking complete, then let's assign the value of open to getStatus. Otherwise, if docking is not complete, we can say it's closed. So one or the other will get assigned. Let's log it, and we'll check this. So let's run this, node demo.js, and we see that it's open because is docking complete is true. And of course, if we were to change this to false, we would see closed. And we do. Okay, so this is the traditional syntax using if and else and having these code blocks. But we can actually do this in a short form because it's already pretty concise, right? So let's write it this way with a ternary expression, and I will show you what this looks like. Let's create a new variable that has a similar name, airlock getStatus. And we're going to ask the question, is docking complete? Use a question mark, give the answer if it's true, and then a colon, and the answer if it's false. So this illustrates why we call it a ternary expression. This entire thing here is the expression. It has three parts. It has the condition, the value if true, and the value if false. And we take that entire expression and say it's going to return either open or closed, and then we're going to assign whatever that value is to this variable. So you can see that this entire thing is the equivalent of all of those lines of code right up there. Let's go ahead and log this so we can see the outcome. So we see closed and closed. So they definitely are both doing the same thing. And of course, we can test it in the opposite direction. Let's turn this back to true. And we should see open and open. There we go. So that one was working with a Boolean variable that was just a single variable holding the true or false value. You can also do this with expressions. So let's take a look at this. We have 5 light years. And if the distance is over 10, we want to assign warp to a new variable called driveMode. Otherwise, we want to assign impulse. So let's declare our variable, driveMode, and then ask the question, light years greater than 10, question mark, warp drive, or impulse engines. Okay, and then we will log it. And we see impulse engines. So let's just look at this again. We start a new variable, let driveMode, and we use the assignment operator and then say this entire expression here is a ternary, and it's going to take either this value warp drive or this value impulse engines, depending on whether this condition evaluates true or false. Now, if it helps you while you're first learning this, you can put parentheses around it like this. And that will make it a little clearer that you've got an entire expression that's being evaluated to true or false before you assign one value or the other. But the parentheses are not required. That's really all there is to ternary expressions. I'm going to make my git commit here. Completed ternary expressions demo. And there we go. So I have some practice set up for you here in this other file where you can come in and follow these instructions and just practice using this really nice syntax, the ternary expression. I will see you in the next one.